Welcome, everybody, to the league. Final week of the season. Mm, mm. It's all come down to this. Whole year. A lot of tough games. A lot of close games. Some pretty big upsets. Some pretty big letdowns. Coaches retiring. Teams falling out of nowhere. Teams coming out of nowhere. People getting Joe balled. People fucking going crazy. Um, it's been a pretty big year, but it wasn't. I don't know. Of course, it's exciting, and I'm sure as hell glad that we're almost done. I'm sure everyone else is as well, because by the time it gets to week what 17, we're all pretty tired, especially me. And I do apologize for not putting out a video last week. I was predisposed dealing with shit in Tokyo. Um, but this is this is the finals. Two games matter. All the rest don't mean shit anymore. The draft order is almost completely set. And we're also going to take a look at the awards. And let's go ahead and do that. So let's get into it. Let's get into the awards. So, the best draft class. Pretty good drafts by everybody. We could go in and look at it, but I'm just not going to. Where's my mouse? Why is it not showing my mouse? That's annoying. It says capture cursor. What the fuck just happened? What the hell? Alright, I don't fucking know. This thing's being weird. It was capturing my cursor earlier, but it's not now, but that's okay. We could go ahead and look at the draft class, but we're not going to. We got it right here. A little bit different. I'm just going to show everyone the percentages as well. But best draft class with one vote, you got the Hickory Grove Heaters. They drafted, again, their best three players. Dalton Kincaid hasn't really done much this season. He's getting a little better. He should be able to look a hell of a lot better in year two. Tyjae Spears backing up King Henry. Very, very good pick for the future. Not immediate help, but if he does take over that Tennessee backfield, whether it be maybe next year or at least in 2 years, this will be a good pick. The best pick though is definitely Tank Dell. Came out of nowhere down there in Houston and is killing it. He got one vote. The Hickory Grove Heaters coming in. I guess I would say fourth place would be the Heaters. Coming in third place, we got. Why is this fucking being weird? We got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. Interesting that they did get two votes. Quentin Johnston. Maybe he can look good in the future. And then Zay Flowers. He's had moments where he's looked fucking incredible, and he's had games where he just kind of disappears. But that kind of is just Baltimore's mo, you know. So, but I think that's still a very, very good pick. I think the best pick is definitely going to be Anthony Richardson. He was having a great rookie season until he went out for the year. So, very good picks here by the Tiger Sharks. Their future looks sneakily bright. We'll get into that a little bit later. Coming in second place, best draft class, were the Vietnam Voyagers, me. I got Jordan Addison, who I think is leading all rookies with touchdowns and definitely receivers. I can't remember. I don't know if he's beating um, Tank Dell in yards or not. He had a down spell after Kirk went down, but Addison's having a great year. Sam Laporta looks like a top five tight end. for forever, and then Puka, who I didn't even mean to draft. I kind of just took a random swing on that and got lucky as shit. But all three of these guys are helping the Voyagers, and they're gonna be great additions for years to come. But got three votes here. So one vote for the Heaters, two for the Tiger Sharks, three for the Voyagers. All of the rest went to the Philadelphia Smeagol's, and it's kind of obvious here. I mean, Jameer Gibbs has looked fantastic in certain games when he's had the rock. He's almost got 1,000 yards on the season. Wide receiver JSN, not the best, but he does look solid for the future, especially when certain players like maybe Lockett or somebody leaves up there in Seattle. But CJ Stroud, holy shit, found the diamond in the rough there, and I think it was at what, the third round or so. Let's actually take a look at the draft. Let's take a look. Oh, now my cursor's showing. What the fuck? When was Stroud picked? He was picked. Whoops. He was picked in the third round. And this was after Anthony Richardson, after Bryce Young, CJ Stroud in the third round. Fantastic picks. Um, and P Man, the the Jesus Christ, the Smeagol's got again. They got Gibbs, JSN, Kendre Miller, who's pretty solid. Mingo, who is off screen wide receiver, very solid. But again, C.J. Stroud in the third round, and he looks like he's going to be a franchise quarterback for years and years to come. They did draft a couple other players, Hutchinson and Trey Palmer. Um, but yeah, fantastic job there by the Smeagol's. They get best draft class by a huge margin. Oh, now my cursor's showing. Okay, whatever. Best team name. The best team name. Had a lot of picks here. I'm going to go through them pretty quick. Everybody had basically one vote. So one vote for the Trolls, one vote for the Wise Guys, one vote for the Titans Elite, one vote for the LA Finesse, one vote for the Rune Dogs, one for the Dumpster Fire, and one for the Tiger Sharks. I'm assuming most of these people voted for themselves. Interesting. Two votes for the Miami Cartel. I don't know how, but sure. But winning pretty easily with the most votes, three, the Hickory Grove Heaters. Best team name still. Um, I think it's been like 3 years, 4 years running now for the best team name for the Heaters, and they still have it. So good job. Worst team name. This is where it gets fun. Quailmen with one vote. I don't mind the I don't not I, don't, I really don't mind the name French Quarter Quailmen. For me, it's kind of annoying because it's hard to find Quailmen shit that's not stupid and obviously cartoony, but it's hard to find things to put up on the screen of Quailmen. But I don't mind the name. I think it fits pretty well. It's got the qua and shit. I like it. I don't hate the name, but someone did vote for it, and that's okay. One vote for the Miami Cartel. Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue, but it doesn't have to be alliteration for it to be a good team name. It is not the best. I don't really see a logo here. We still don't have a logo for this team. I think that's something that they need to work on in the future. Coach Sam, if you need help with that, let me know, and we can create a logo for this team. Maybe a fucking name change is in store. But if they want to stay the cartel, then yeah, we're gonna need a logo to help the brand because this fucking team needs it. But they got one vote. The next were the Charleston Trolls. Got two votes. Interesting. I don't mind the name either. They kept the Trolls name, and they kept the basically alliteration with cha and cha. I don't mind the name that much. Again, Trolls, they do have a mascot and a logo, but it may need to be revamped in the off season to again further that brand, but we'll see. They got two votes. Three votes, the Columbia Dumpster Fire. I think this is the worst team name just because it doesn't fit anymore. because they're not the fucking dumpster fire anymore. I think if the dumpster fire pull this shit out this year, might be time for a name change, or it could just be, what is that? Tongue in cheek, irony? I don't know. Someone let me know. But they got 3 votes. But the worst, the worst, we already know what it is. Joe, SC Titans Elite. This team needs a logo change for sure. Um, if I were them, I would take out the elite part. That's just me. Um, SC, we still don't really know where it is. We're in the West. We're just calling it Santa Clara because I'm not going to put you in the East unless we do some kind of rearranging next season or in the off season. But yeah, Joe's got the worst team name I think for 3 years running now. Sucks. Trash name. The logo is good, but it's got a basketball on it. So if we can rework that, um, which I will definitely probably be doing for you, Joe, in the off season as well, because I'm tired of seeing a basketball for fantasy football. Let's go down to the things that really matter. Most improved. Only 3 teams got votes out of 12. The dumpster fire from last year, from going from 7-7 to 11-3. Of course, they deserve to be in the running for most improved. However, their team was already stacked. They made it to the championship game last year as well. So yeah, their record really shined, but this team was a hell of a lot better than their record was last year. So I do see where some people think the dumpster fire were most improved, but I agree that they're not the most improved. Next were the Hickory Grove Heaters. This I can definitely agree with, going from 5-9 to 9-5, and second highest scoring team in the league this year. And last year the Heaters were very, very, very just meh, and this year they came out and put the bang thing and almost made it to the championship game. But most improved, and which I agree with, are the Charleston Trolls, going from 4-10 last year to 10-4 in the championship game. The Charleston Trolls, moving on from Trentham to Charleston, definitely did them some good, and they completely swapped their record, just like the Heaters going from 5-9 to 9-5. The Charleston Trolls did it one game better, or maybe 2 games better if you want to look at it as a swing way. But yeah, Charleston Trolls, most improved team on the year. Mm. Least improved. Only got two. Only got 2 teams in the running here. The Miami Cartel going from 3-11 to 1-13. Holy shit, this team is fucking garbage. And again, in the offseason, we are going to figure out some type of way to make sure that the bad teams get better. But at the same time, if you trade away your top picks, then maybe you deserve it. But we will see um, what happens here. But yeah, going from 3-11, you thought the only way this team could go was up, but apparently not. And the Cartel are looking pretty rough right now, but we'll see. But obvious winner here, the French Quarter Quailmen, just going from 11-3, dominating a lot of times last year, all the way down to 2-12. 9 games, absolutely awful, and you could probably base it all. You could probably put almost all of that on the Jamar Chase trade or rape, whatever you want to call that, because that was horrendous. And this team is paying for it now, and they're going to have to do a lot of work to get themselves back up. This team is not bad. It's just they traded away one of the best players in the league and didn't get much in return. So the Quailmen definitely least improved. The Invisible Man. Yeah, this was kind of interesting. Got 1 vote for Sam. I agree with Sam. Too not here all the time. 1 vote for Mandy, which is interesting. Um, Mandy's been fairly active, but not the most, so I can see that. I'm sorry, 4 votes for Joe, which Joe is almost always here on the Invisible Man. But the winner, of course, is, well, what do you think? Fucking Dan again with the Invisible Man. I think this is what? This might be 4 years in a row. I can't remember last year's, but I'm pretty sure it was Dan for the Invisible Man last year as well. We should just rename this shit to the Invisible Dan. Sorry for the shitty joke. Mm. Some other good ones. Dark Horse. Which team is going to come out of nowhere and surprise everybody? Got a lot of one piece votes here. Miami Cartel. Okay. I don't know who the fuck voted for them. We can take a guess, but okay. I mean, again, from now, I guess we could say the only way they can go is up, right? Unless they don't win a game next year. But Dark Horse, I don't see it for the Cartel. The LA Finesse, I don't know how they're a Dark Horse team. They've made it to the playoffs. They've won two past championships. Okay. The SC Titans Elite, I don't see this one either, but sure. Whatever. The Washington Wise Guys, I do see this. The Wise Guys could have been in the ballot for most improved. And I think they should have at least gotten one vote in there, um, just to kind of even it out. This team could be actually quite good. And with Coach Tebow retiring at the end of the season, whomever takes over this team is not going to be, in the same position that say the Miami Cartel were with Coach Sam taking over the worst team fucking ever. The Wise Guys have some good pieces for the future. So I do see this as well, but it all depends on who gets hired there and if they can run that team properly. The Hickory Grove Heaters, dark horse. Again, this is a team that I would say dark horse for this would be championship. They would have to win the championship or at least make it to the dance or the final dance to be in consideration for dark horse because this team is looking very very good. Again, second highest scoring in the league. So I can see it, but sure, getting a couple of votes. The Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, which I do agree with. I do see this team turning it around next year. I see them making the playoffs next year. I don't know if they'll be able to have the depth to really make a run for the title, but the Tiger Sharks were able to do it. Well, it wasn't the Tiger Sharks back then, but Coach Rico was able to do this 7 years ago in the very first year of the league. Took a garbage team to the championship game and unfortunately lost to Joe. Um, in the very first inaugural season. But I can definitely see the Tiger Sharks turning it around next year and definitely competing at least for a wild card spot for sure. But the 2024 dark horse is definitely the Philadelphia Smeagol's. I mean, they barely missed out on the playoffs this year, and they had the best draft class. They've got a hell of a lot of good players, and I don't see this team missing the playoffs next year. I think they may be able to jump the Rune Dogs because the Rune Dogs again got that one win over the Dumpster Fire by what, less than half a point off of a recalculation, and the team kind of just fell apart towards the end of the year. But they are now in the running to get the number one pick. So this team does look very, very poised and ready to make a return to the title game that they have not won in a few years. They want to get back there. So yeah, the Smeagol's dark horse next year. Ticking time bomb. Very interesting here. Which team will implode? Got a lot of votes here. Got the wise guys. Okay, maybe, maybe not. Depends on who the coach is. Charleston Trolls. I don't see this one. The team is very, very good. Um, unless they make a dumb fucking trade or just have a garbage draft and have injuries. I don't see this team doing that, but sure. Hickory Grove Heaters, kind of the same with the Trolls. I just don't see it. The coach is finally putting it together and coaching a hell of a lot better than he was a few years ago. The Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, they're already fucking dead, so I don't know how they got to vote for ticking time bomb, but sure. They're not doing too bad. The LA Finesse, I can see this one. This one makes a little bit of sense. I don't remember who I voted for this. I don't think it was the finesse, but and it doesn't show me who you guys voted for. Um, I could definitely see this one happening with Mahomes. looking kind of meh this year, but mostly Kelsey, which is the lifeblood of that team, just kind of disappearing at times. And if he retires after this season or something, then this team is going to hurt a lot unless they can have a fantastic draft. Um, Coming in tied, we have the Columbia dumpster fire as ticking time bomb. Who the fuck voted for this? Y'all are both stupid. This team is too stacked. There's no way the dumpster fire are going to be making the playoffs for the next 3, 4 years again, unless they make some stupid ass trades or their whole team dies like CMC. We'll see. The Vietnam Voyagers. I can see this. My team's getting a little long in the tooth, but I did have a good draft, and all 3 of those 4 players have been carrying this team. So we'll see. A lot of injuries this year. Um, I don't think they're gonna be garbage next year. The Voyagers. I don't think they're going to be world beaters either. I think they're still going to be in the running for the playoffs, just like they were this year. Got a little bit unlucky. Um, but that's neither here nor there. So I can definitely see the votes for this one. I respectfully disagree. Maybe a little bit biased, but number one ticking time bomb, yeah, the SC Titans Elite. Again, Joe, always fucking here, has been here the entire goddamn time. Every single year, he's ticking time bomb, and almost every single year, he makes the playoff with a shit team. But I think it's finally time for this team to die because they have no draft picks for the most part, all defensive players, and we can only start 3. And I don't see this team being able to stay alive. They have to have a good draft this year, or this team may be in Miami cartel range. But again, Coach Joe, he he makes something out of nothing every single year. You could give him garbage, absolute trash, and he'll make a fucking filet mignon. So I don't know, but I do agree with the ticking time bomb on the SC Titans Elite. They do need to have a good draft. But we'll see. Rookie of the year. This one should be pretty easy to guess, but we'll go through them anyways. One vote for Sam Laporta. Thank you, whoever voted Sam Laporta Rookie of the Year. It wasn't me, so thank you for that. But yeah, he's looked fucking fantastic. Definitely Rookie Tight End of the Year. If we had individual position awards, maybe we'll have that next year. We'll see. Got one vote for Brandon Aubrey. I wonder who voted for him. Now, yes, he's fantastic, but I mean, maybe if he was, leading everything, then he would have more votes. But I do agree one vote is reasonable um, for this. He's definitely rookie kicker of the year. That's for damn sure. Coming up next, we got 2 votes for Puka. I definitely agree with these 2 votes. Again, thank you for the votes. I didn't vote for him, but I definitely can see this. Puka has been on a tear, and he's looked fantastic. Even at times, even better than Cooper Kupp was during his superb year a couple of years ago. Maybe that's a little bit hyperbole, but this kid looks fucking fantastic. And as long as he's got a decent quarterback throwing to him, I think he'll be good for years to come. Puka getting 2 votes. Also getting 2 vote, running back Jahmyr Gibbs. Definitely agree with him getting 2 votes here. Very, very solid for the Philadelphia Smeagol's this year. And looks like he's going to be even better and getting better and better up there in Detroit. And if he gets more work, then look out for him. But winning with 6 votes, 50%, obviously, it's quarterback CJ Stroud. I mean, who else? Who else would have won this than him? Obviously, rookie of the year, and he looks like to be a franchise quarterback for years to come. We're going to skip the MVP for now. We're going to go down. Oh, motherfucker. Give me a second here, guys. I thought I could keep scrolling. Let me move this up. Okay. The defensive player of the year. We'll do him first. The defensive player of the year. And now my. What the hell? Okay, now this is weird. Defensive player of the year. We got one vote for Antoine Winfield. I'm assuming Rico voted for him. Fantastic job by Winfield, but I don't know if he even deserved a vote. But I put him in here because, well, he deserved to be on the list. 2 votes for TJ Watt. So TJ Watt will not be winning Defensive Player of the Year as he has the last few years. I don't know who won last year, but I think it was TJ Watt again. So he will not be winning Defensive Player of the Year this year. Max Crosby with 2 votes had a fantastic year. TJ Watt had 130, Crosby had 119. Winfield with 135 points as a defensive back, which is fantastic. But Defensive Player of the Year by a huge margin, and fuck me if I can pronounce this, linebacker Foyesade Oluokun. I hope I said that correctly. If not, I'll just call him FO. Because this dude went bonkers this year. Ridiculous amount of tackles. I mean, he's going to be good. Um, Offensive Player of the Year. 1 vote for CeeDee Lamb. Definitely agree with that. Had a fantastic year. 1 vote for Travis Kelce. Come on. Offensive Player. Good? Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year? Nah. Dak Prescott. It's kind of the same thing. Not even Quarterback of the Year. So, whatever. Maybe 1 vote. Warner's consideration, but I don't think so. Lamar Jackson definitely deserves a vote here for sure, but he only got 1, which is a little surprising. Christian McCaffrey gets a vote, of course. He dominated, gets a vote here. 3 for Josh Allen. I highly disagree with this one. Yeah, he may have had the most points and #1 quarterback, but he has not looked like the offensive player of the year, and that's good because he didn't fucking win. The winner, the offensive player of the year, is Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, getting 4 votes, which is, I think, definitely deserved. Because again, the offensive player of the year is not the best offensive player. It's just the second best behind the MVP. Because a defensive player is not going to win MVP unless it's bananas shit. And speaking of MVPs, let's get to it. First, you got Tyreek Hill. 1 vote for MVP. I could see it. 1 vote for Josh Allen. Sure, I can see it. Jalen Hurts gets a vote. I can see it. I respect it. 2 for Lamar Jackson for sure, but I think we all know who the MVP is. Running away with it, literally. Running back CMC, fucking dominating this year, staying healthy all year, and yeah, if this guy stays healthy, this is what's gonna happen. So MVP goes to Christian McCaffrey. This video is getting long in the fucking tooth. Let's get on with it. But yeah, those are your awards. And thank you guys for voting on that. Let's get into the matchups. Matchup #1, aka the battle for the #1 overall pick, or if you just want to call it the fucking Marvin Harrison Jr. sweepstakes. You got the Vietnam Voyagers 7-7 at the 7-7 Philadelphia Smeagol's. This game has not kicked off just yet. It does look like it's going to be a good matchup here. I mean, we got motherfucker. Sorry. Let me move this down a little bit. Okay. So, yeah, we got Jared Goff versus the reigning, defending rookie of the year, CJ Stroud. You got Eckler versus Gibbs. Give that one to Gibbs. Chandler versus Kamara. Kamara is questionable, so we'll see there. Chandler's coming on here later in the season. Justin Jefferson versus Devontae Smith. Jefferson gets that all day. Puka versus JSN. 2 rookies, 2 of some of the best rookie wide receivers in the league. Puka is questionable, but I think he should be able to play come Sunday. Give the edge to Puka here. Obviously, giving the edge to Stroud there. We got Sam Laporta and Freiermuth. Freiermuth was an ex-Voyager traded to the Smeagol's a couple of years ago, but they got Laporta, I think, with the same pick. So giving the edge to Laporta here. You got Nuke against Robinson. Very, very tight battle here. It really all depends if Levis is going to throw Nuke's way. We got Jordan Addison against Gus Edwards. Gus the Bus. Addison is questionable. Don't know if he'll play or not. Jaron Hall is going to be starting for the Vikings, so this could change out it could be a different player. It will most likely, if that does happen, it'll most likely be Noah Brown in Houston, which will help against the CJ Stroud anti-stack, as I would say. Kickers, we got McLaughlin and Butker. They're kickers. We don't really know what the hell is going to happen, but you give it to Butker most likely. Excuse me. TJ Watt and Hutchinson. Fantastic matchup here, but you got to give it to TJ Watt. Okereke versus Logan Wilson. Again, very, very close linebacker battle. And at the defensive back, you got Jaquan Brisker and Cameron Bynum. Two very, very good players. You're given the edge to Brisker. Backup quarterbacks, if this does happen, Jordan Love or Tua, with Trevor Lawrence being out. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It does not look like Sanders or Madison or Gibson will suit up. Cooper and Waddle are out for the game, which is not good. Well, Cooper was out before, but who knows what he would have done. And yeah, pretty much. So this game should be very, very interesting. It is the battle for the #1 overall pick, but the real matchup that really matters, the championship game, the champ chip. The 10-4 Charleston Trolls at the 11-3 Columbia Dumpster Fire. And this is a game we've all been waiting for. This is going to be a fucking huge one. Josh Allen against Dak Prescott. CMC against Death, apparently. Pollard and Smith. So very interesting. Prescott and Pollard here could be working against each other. Could be good. We'll see what's going to happen there. Garrett Wilson already put up 7. So they're only up by a touchdown at the end of the first quarter. We'll see what happens. But Wilson and Ayuk has had a fantastic year, and I think he can get more than 7 here. Jaden Reed coming out of nowhere in Green Bay. Risky play, but pretty solid. And then you got the Olive here. You got to give it to the Olive here just based off of what he's done all season, whereas Reed has only done it just a little bit recently. Tight ends, you got Ferguson and Likely. This is very interesting because Likely, I mean, he's had good games the last 3 weeks here, but there have been games where he has basically disappeared. And when it comes to Ferguson, he's been very just solid. Is what you would these are numbers that you kind of want out of your tight end. He is 8th overall. So very, very solid pick. Solid floor pick, but not a very high ceiling. Whereas Isaiah Likely, he could do nothing or he could blow up. And they want more of this and not more of that. But we'll see what happens there. At the flex spots, you got Kyron Williams, versus James Cook. This is going to be nuts. This is a very, very good matchup. I don't know who to give it to here. Jamar Chase, Kenny Walker. Uh-oh. This is another one. Both are questionable. We'll see what happens there. Kickers, you got Gay, and then you got Aubrey, who did get a vote for Rookie of the Year. You got to give it to Aubrey, though, the way they've been playing in Detroit, and it's in a dome. And them being able to put up that many points. Defensive line, Danielle Hunter versus Parsons. Fucking superstar matchup here. I think you got to give it to Parsons just based on tackles, not sacks. Well, we'll see. At linebacker, you got Franklin versus Wagner. Franklin probably could have gotten some Defensive Player of the Year votes, but he was just short of the threshold to sneak in for voting rights. But oh well. And then at defensive back, you got Derwin James versus Jesse Bates. Flacco on the bench with 20. Will that come back to haunt this team? But you got to put in the guy who got you there. But Flacco doing crazy shit. Elijah Moore on the bench with 14. So we'll see what happens in this game. But the Trolls and Dumpster Fire, and I swear to God, if something fucking happens to where a player dies on the field, the belt is going somewhere else. E-Man. All right? You ain't keeping it this year. So it's either going to be the Trolls or the Dumpster Fire. A new champ for the first time in a couple of years. But probably would have been the Dumpster Fire last year, but that's okay. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. I know this is a fucking long ass video. But yeah, good luck to the trolls. Good luck to the dumpster fire. Everybody else, suck it. And that's about it. Cheers.